then how many years will you continue carrying everyone else's expectations while your own life waits in silence? In 2026, the greatest discipline is not what you give to the world, but what you choose to give yourself. And today, I will show you the inner path that forces life to rise to meet you. I promise you this, if you apply the wisdom I share with you today, 2026 will become the first year in your life that you stop surviving and start becoming. 1. Putting yourself first is not selfish. It is self-responsibility. There is a moment in every person's life when silence becomes heavier than sound. A moment when you realize that the weight you carry is not the weight life has given you, but the weight you have allowed. This understanding is the beginning of responsibility, and responsibility is the beginning of freedom. Putting yourself first is not an act of ego, it is an act of alignment. It means you choose to stop abandoning yourself whenever the world becomes loud. It means you choose to stop sacrificing your inner balance for the comfort of others. When you put yourself first, you reclaim the authority over your own path. For many years, people are conditioned to believe that prioritizing themselves is wrong. They are told to serve others, to care for others, to give endlessly without question. Giving is noble, yes, but giving without boundaries is self-erasure. There is no wisdom in pouring from an empty vessel. There is no honor in losing yourself to please the expectations of the world. You must understand this truth. You cannot elevate others while standing in your own shadows. You cannot guide others while ignoring the misalignment in your own steps. And you cannot love others if the connection to your own heart has grown dim. The greatest responsibility you carry in this lifetime is the responsibility to your inner world, your emotions, your choices, your energy, your state of mind. When these are neglected, everything around you becomes unstable. Relationships become fragile, work becomes stressful, life becomes chaotic. Because the foundation, your inner self, has been ignored. Putting yourself first means you return to your center. You breathe with intention. You move with awareness. You speak with clarity. You act with integrity. When you place yourself at the front of your own life, you are not saying, I am more important than others. You are saying, I must be whole before I can serve the world. And this is the highest form of responsibility. Every choice becomes an opportunity to strengthen your inner foundation. Every moment becomes a chance to choose alignment over approval. When you wake up with a mind at peace, your actions reflect peace. When you move through the day with inner clarity, your decisions carry power. When you live in consistent alignment, your presence itself becomes a form of guidance for others. People will be inspired not by what you sacrifice, but by how you rise, not by how much you give away, but by how deeply you nurture your own strength. There will be times when the world misunderstands your decision to put yourself first. Some will say you changed. Some will say you are distant. Some will say you have become selfish. But the truth is, you have simply become responsible. And those who fear your transformation are the ones who benefited from your lack of boundaries. They are not losing you. They are losing their control over you. That is not your burden to carry. A new chapter begins here. A path where you no longer betray your own needs. A path where you no longer silence your feelings. A path where you walk with the strength of someone who chooses themselves with intention, not with guilt. And as you begin this path, something else awakens inside you. A quiet but powerful voice that says, if I am responsible for myself, then I must also become responsible for the limits I allow. And that leads to the next awakening. Because once you put yourself first, you must face the boundaries you have never dared to set. 2. Your discipline is measured not by what you endure, but by what you refuse to tolerate any longer. There is a belief many carry, that strength comes from endurance, from surviving discomfort, from tolerating disrespect, from holding the weight of situations long after they should have been released. But endurance without purpose is not strength. Endurance without boundaries is self-destruction. True discipline is not about how much you can suffer. True discipline is about how clearly you can say no, a no to chaos, a no to disrespect, a no to environments that drain your spirit, a no to patterns that keep you small. Life will always test you. It will place you in situations that challenge your patience, your values, your self-worth. But the question is never, how much can you endure? The real question is, how much unnecessary suffering are you still willing to tolerate? Because discipline is the art of removing what does not serve your highest path. It is the discipline to walk away from conversations that dim your light. The discipline to detach from relationships that take more than they give. The discipline to end habits that steal your clarity and weaken your spirit. The discipline to stop apologizing for wanting a peaceful life. You must understand, every time you tolerate something that goes against your inner truth, you weaken the connection to yourself. A silent fracture appears inside you. And this fracture grows each time you accept what you know is misaligned. People endure more than they should because they fear change. They fear being alone. They fear discomfort. But the discomfort of change is temporary. The suffering of tolerating what is wrong for you is endless. When you decide to stop tolerating what drains your life, everything begins to shift. Your energy rises. Your clarity returns. Your strength becomes undeniable. You no longer walk with hesitation, you walk with presence. There is another truth. When you stop tolerating the habits that weaken you, you redefine your entire identity. Your actions become sharper. Your routines become sacred. Your focus becomes unbreakable. You begin to demand more from yourself. Not through pressure, but through purpose. And the world starts to reflect your new standards. People treat you differently. Opportunities appear where there was once stagnation. Doors open because you finally choose the version of yourself that refuses to shrink. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is liberation. It frees you from cycles that no longer belong to your future. It frees you from attachments that slow your evolution. It frees you from the identity you have outgrown. This is why your discipline is not measured by endurance. It is measured by refusal, by the courage to let go, by the strength to choose growth over comfort, by the willingness to walk away from what is familiar but harmful. And once you master the discipline of refusal, you discover something even greater. Every no to the world becomes a yes to your inner power. And that realization leads to the next truth. Because when you stop tolerating what drains you, you must learn to protect the energy that begins to grow inside you. 3. Your energy is your greatest currency. Spend it with intention. In this life, there are many forms of currency. Money, time, knowledge, skill. But the most valuable currency you possess is your energy. Everything you do, everything you create, every step you take requires energy. And once it is spent, you cannot regain it in the same form. Your energy determines the quality of your thoughts. It determines the tone of your emotions. It determines the strength of your decisions. It determines the direction of your life. Yet most people spend their energy unconsciously. They give it away to distractions, to arguments, to negativity, to environments that drain the spirit. They wake up tired not because their bodies are exhausted, but because their minds have been spending energy without awareness. You must guard your energy the way a warrior guards the gates of a sacred temple, with clarity, with firmness, with deep understanding of its value. If your energy is scattered, your life becomes scattered. If your energy is focused, your life becomes focused. Where energy flows, your path grows. Your energy is not infinite, but it is renewable when used with intention. When you direct it toward discipline, it expands. When you direct it toward alignment, it strengthens. When you direct it toward purpose, it becomes unstoppable. You must ask yourself, where does my energy go each day? Does it go to building the life I desire, or does it disappear into noise and conflict? Does it lift me, or does it drain me? Every conversation either nourishes you or depletes you. Every environment either elevates you or diminishes you. Every habit either restores your energy or steals it. Becoming conscious of these exchanges is the beginning of mastery. The most successful, disciplined, and peaceful individuals in the world have one thing in common. They spend their energy with precision. They choose their battles. They choose their environments. They choose their thoughts. They choose their direction. This is not selfishness. It is wisdom. You cannot distribute your energy widely and expect to rise. You cannot give your energy to everyone and expect to stay centered. You cannot waste your energy on what is meaningless and expect your life to have meaning. Energy is life force. Treat it as sacred. When your energy rises, your perception sharpens. When your energy rises, your courage grows. When your energy rises, your voice becomes clearer. When your energy rises, the world feels different. Not because it changed, but because you changed. The more intentional you are with your energy, the more intentional life becomes in its response to you. Your reality begins to align with your inner frequency. People sense your strength. Opportunities gravitate toward you. Life moves in harmony with your steps. Protecting your energy is not about isolation. It is about elevation. It is about rising to a level where only what aligns with your purpose can reach you. Your energy becomes a filter, a shield, a declaration of your inner standards. And once you recognize the power of your energy, a new question arises. If my energy shapes my life, then who or what should I allow into my field? A question that opens the path to the next transformation. 4. 2026 must be the year you no longer negotiate with your limitations. There comes a moment in every journey where you must confront a truth that has lived in your shadow for years. A truth you walked around. A truth you postponed. A truth you softened with excuses. A truth you buried beneath distractions and obligations. The truth is this: your limitations are not walls, they are negotiations. And every time you negotiate with them, you give them power they never truly had. This year, 2026, must be the year where you end these negotiations. For too long, you have debated your own potential. You have hesitated in front of decisions that could transform your life. You have argued with your own inner voice, convincing yourself that you are not ready, not strong enough, not disciplined enough, not capable enough. And every time you doubted your own power, the limitation grew taller in your mind. Limitations are not built by circumstances. They are built by repetition. Repetition of fear, repetition of self-doubt, repetition of the stories you tell yourself when life becomes overwhelming. But you were not brought into this world to live underneath a ceiling of your own creation. You were made to rise, to evolve, to expand beyond the boundaries that your past shaped for you. To become someone who moves not with fear, but with clarity. 2026 must be the turning point, not because the year is magical, not because time resets your life, but because you decide that negotiation is finished. You decide that you will no longer bargain with laziness, no longer tolerate procrastination, no longer indulge in excuses disguised as logical reasoning, no longer allow fear to enter discussions where courage should lead. Growth is not complicated, it is inconvenient. It demands effort, discomfort, consistency. Your limitations are tested every time you choose the difficult path, every time you say yes to discipline and no to comfort. This year, you must become the version of yourself that stops choosing temporary relief over permanent evolution. You must stop negotiating with the habits that keep you stagnant. Stop negotiating with the mindset that tells you to stay small. Stop negotiating with the people who tempt you back into your older patterns. Stop negotiating with the fears that whisper stories of failure every time you attempt something new. Ask yourself, how many opportunities have passed because you negotiated with your doubts? How many moments of growth did you avoid because the old version of you insisted on staying alive? How many dreams remain on the shelf because you kept lowering your standards to be comfortable? This is the year to break that cycle, not with intensity, but with certainty. When you are certain, hesitation loses its grip. When you are certain, fear becomes background noise. When you are certain, your path becomes undeniable. You are not meant to debate your potential. You are meant to embody it. When you stop negotiating with your limitations, something extraordinary happens. You create space for a new identity to emerge. An identity shaped not by fear, but by intention. Not by stagnation, but by movement. Not by doubt, but by presence. And as you rise, you begin to sense something profound. The silence beneath the noise. The guidance beneath the chaos. The wisdom that can only be heard when you stop arguing with your own path. This silence is calling you, and it leads you to the next truth. Because once you stop negotiating with your limitations, you must learn to enter the stillness where real clarity is born. 5. Silence is a training ground. Learn to listen before life forces you to. There is a realm that few dare to enter, not because it is dangerous, but because it is unfamiliar. It is the realm of silence, a space where the distractions of the world fall away, and the truth of your inner world rises to the surface. Silence is not the absence of sound. Silence is the presence of awareness. It is where you meet yourself without disguise, where your inner conflicts become visible, where your intuition becomes audible, where your next step becomes undeniable. Most people avoid silence because it exposes everything they try to suppress, their fears, their regrets, their unresolved emotions, their forgotten dreams. But what you avoid becomes heavier, and what you face becomes lighter. Silence is not punishment. Silence is preparation. It is the training ground where your spirit becomes sharper, where your discipline becomes deeper, where your vision becomes clearer, where your doubts lose their power. In silence, you begin to see the patterns that limit you. You begin to notice the habits that drain your energy. You begin to understand the difference between what is urgent and what is truly important. The world is noisy. It pulls your attention in 1,000 directions. Notifications, opinions, expectations, chaos. If you are not careful, you begin to live on the surface of your own life, reacting, rushing, surviving. But depth is found in stillness. Strength is found in awareness. Wisdom is found in the quiet spaces where the mind breathes again. You must learn to listen before life forces you to. Life will always send signals. Soft signals first. Whispers in the heart, small discomforts, intuitive nudges. If you ignore them, the signals grow louder. Stress, conflict, exhaustion, misalignment. Ignore them again, and life shifts from whisper to impact. A moment that forces you to stop. A situation that demands your attention. A wake-up call that arrives without warning. But you do not need to wait for impact. You can choose awareness before life forces transformation upon you. Silence is your opportunity to realign before the world passes. Tells you to correct your direction before the consequences arise, to strengthen your mind before challenges appear, to hear your intuition before chaos begins. In silence, you recover your power. You remember who you are without the noise. You reconnect with the version of yourself that is grounded, steady, and unshakable. The strongest individuals are not those who move the fastest. They are those who move with clarity. And clarity is born when the mind is still. Silence teaches you patience. Patience teaches you presence. Presence teaches you mastery. The more comfortable you become with silence, the more powerful your decisions become. The more intentional your actions become. The more aligned your path becomes. You begin to sense the subtle shifts in your energy. You begin to notice the difference between what nourishes you and what depletes you. You begin to see people clearly, not through emotion but through truth. Silence reveals everything. And once you train yourself to listen, you discover something deeper. You are not alone in this stillness. You are surrounded by signals, energetic, emotional, intuitive. Life speaks in whispers, and silence is the language it uses. And through this silence you hear a message rising, a reminder that will guide your next step. Your evolution depends not only on inner work, but on the environment you allow around you. And that leads you forward. Because once you learn to listen, you must learn to choose the people and spaces that elevate your journey instead of clouding it. 6. Your environment shapes your future. Choose people who elevate your standards. Every life is shaped not only by inner strength, but by outer influence. Your environment is not neutral. It is a force that molds your thoughts, your habits, your aspirations, and your identity. The people around you either sharpen your mind or dull your path. Ensure. They either push you forward or pull you backward. They either expand your vision or shrink your belief. You become what surrounds you, not instantly, but inevitably. If you surround yourself with people who fear growth, you begin to fear growth. If you surround yourself with people who settle, you begin to settle. If you surround yourself with people who complain, you begin to see life through the lens of difficulty instead of possibility. The environment you choose is a silent architect of your future. You must choose people who elevate your standards, people whose presence awakens your discipline, people whose mindset challenges your excuses, people whose energy lifts your own, people whose actions remind you of the person you are becoming. These individuals do not soothe your limitations, they dissolve them. They do not encourage your comfort, they provoke your evolution. They do not let you hide from your potential, they illuminate it. If you want to rise, be near those who rise. If you want clarity, be near those who think deeply. If you want strength, be near those who train their mind. If you want peace, be near those who live in alignment. Your environment is either a sanctuary or a battlefield. A sanctuary nurtures growth, a battlefield drains energy. You must become intentional with the spaces you enter, the conversations you allow, the relationships you maintain. Not everyone deserves a place in your inner circle. Not everyone has earned access to your energy. Not everyone is meant to walk beside you in this next chapter. There is a difference between compassion and attachment. Compassion means you wish others well. Attachment means you let them pull you into their chaos. You cannot evolve while staying loyal to environments that keep you stagnant. There is a law of nature. Everything rises or falls based on its surroundings. A seed in the wrong soil cannot grow. A flame in the wrong wind cannot survive. A mind in the wrong environment cannot awaken. Choose your environment like your future depends on it, because it does. When your environment aligns with your standards, your life moves with coherence. Your discipline strengthens naturally. Your goals feel within reach. Your mind becomes focused. Your spirit becomes lighter. Your actions become consistent. And as you elevate your standards, something extraordinary happens. People who once resonated with your older self begin to fade away. Not because they are bad, but because you are evolving into someone who requires deeper alignment, deeper truth, deeper intention. This can feel lonely at first, but loneliness is not emptiness. Loneliness is space, and space invites the right people into your life. People who understand your growth, people who speak the language of discipline and purpose, people who walk with clarity and live with authenticity. You do not need a crowd, you need alignment, you need resonance. You need individuals who reflect the future you are stepping toward, not the past you are leaving behind. And once your environment aligns with your evolution, a new realization awakens. If the people around me shape my future, then my next step is to shape myself into the person who deserves that future. A new chapter opens, and the journey continues. 7. Every no you say is a doorway to a stronger yes to yourself. There is a power hidden in the word no. A power few ever allow themselves to embrace. No is not rejection, it is protection. No is not selfishness, it is clarity. No is not weakness, it is strength quietly declaring its presence. Every no you speak erects a boundary, a line in the sand that defines your energy, your priorities, your value. It is the first whisper of self-respect, the first statement that you are not negotiable, the first act of courage to honor yourself before pleasing others. People fear saying no because they believe it will cost them connection. They fear conflict, disapproval, judgment. They fear that refusing others will shrink their life. But this fear is a lie your mind tells to keep you small. Every no is a signal to the world that you are learning to measure the worth of your presence. Every no sharpens your focus. Every no aligns your energy with what truly serves you. Every no creates a sacred space where a stronger yes can emerge. The world may pressure you. The world may guilt you. The world may demand your attention, your energy, your compliance. But every time you say no to what drains you, you say yes to what nourishes you. Yes to your dreams. Yes to your boundaries. Yes to your evolution. Yes to the life you are capable of living. This is the paradox of growth. The strength of your yes is measured by the courage of your no. The depth of your purpose is carved by the limits you are willing to impose. You may encounter resistance. People may not understand. They may label you as harsh, uncooperative, or selfish. But their misunderstanding is not a reflection of your actions. It is a reflection of their inability to face boundaries in their own lives. Each no is a training ground for discipline. Each no is a rehearsal for inner power. Each no prepares you for a life where your energy is no longer dispersed but concentrated. When you practice saying no with intention, you discover an inner freedom that cannot be taken away. You discover that you are not defined by the expectations of others. You discover that your identity is not negotiable. You discover that your life does not belong to anyone but you. This freedom opens doors you never imagined. Doors to creativity, clarity, and presence. Doors that invite opportunities that are aligned with your purpose. Doors that lead to relationships, work, and experiences that honor your energy. And as you learn to embrace the power of no, a new awareness arises. The strength of your inner voice becomes louder than the noise of the outside world. Every no is a practice. Every no is a seed. Every no eventually blossoms into the life you were meant to inhabit. And with this awakening, you step naturally into the next truth. Because if the strength of your yes is born from your no, then you must also lead your life with the courage to take full control of it. 8. If you cannot lead your own life, the world will lead it for you. There is a quiet danger that almost everyone faces in life, the surrender of leadership over their own existence. It is subtle, invisible, and often mistaken for comfort. But the moment you stop directing your path, the world begins to direct it for you. Life will fill the vacuum with endless distractions, other people's opinions, societal pressures, unexamined routines, external obligations. You may believe you are living freely, but living without leadership is surrender. Surrender to chance, surrender to chaos, surrender to forces that do not have your growth, your alignment, or your peace in mind. Leadership begins with awareness. Leadership begins when you claim ownership over your decisions, your actions, your energy. Leadership begins when you accept that no one else can live your life with the same authenticity, the same vision, the same integrity. Without leadership, life becomes reactive. You respond to events instead of creating them. You follow directions instead of setting your own course. You allow circumstances to define your potential instead of your intentions. Leading your own life requires courage. It requires discipline. It requires patience and clarity. It requires the understanding that your time is limited, And the quality of your life depends entirely on how you use it. You must wake up every day with a vision for yourself. You must decide not just what you will do, but who you will be. You must act with consistency even when the world does not recognize your effort. You must cultivate habits that reinforce your values, even when the noise around you tempts you to deviate. Leadership of the self is not about control over others. It is about sovereignty over your own existence. It is about deciding where your energy flows. It is about deciding what you allow into your life. It is about deciding the pace, the direction, and the standards of your growth. If you do not lead, someone else will. The world does not hesitate. It does not wait for your permission. It will shape your life through circumstances, expectations, and influence. And often, the life shaped by the world is not the life you were meant to live. When you assume leadership over yourself, you develop clarity, you develop resilience, you develop the ability to navigate chaos without losing your center. You develop the courage to act before being pushed. Leadership teaches patience in stillness. It teaches decisiveness in action. It teaches vision in the midst of uncertainty. People will question your choices. People will resist your path. People will attempt to pull you back into their version of reality. This is the test of leadership. Not how many followers you gather, not how many opinions you silence, but how unwaveringly you live by the life you have chosen. When you lead yourself, you influence the world around you, not through force, but through presence. Your energy sets a standard. Your decisions become an example. Your life becomes a statement that cannot be argued with. And as you claim this leadership, you realize a deeper truth, the most important. Anti-influence you have is not on others. It is on the person you are becoming. Leadership over self is the bridge to all other mastery. And as you step across that bridge, a new awareness rises. Because once you lead yourself, you see that your body is the foundation on which all other growth is built. 9. The body is a mirror of the mind, strengthened both with daily practices. The body and the mind are inseparable. One reflects the other. One speaks the language of the other. If your mind is cluttered, your body feels heavy, sluggish, and tense. If your body is weak, your mind hesitates, fears, and doubts. The first law of inner power is this: care for both. The second law is this: care consistently. The body is not merely a vessel, it is an instrument. Every thought, every emotion, every choice is expressed through it. A body untrained becomes a prison. A mind untrained becomes a storm. When the mind is disciplined but the body is weak, energy cannot circulate, clarity cannot sustain, and presence falters. When the body is strong but the mind is chaotic, action becomes impulsive, decisions become erratic, and growth stalls. You must train both with intention. Daily practices are not ritual, they are the blueprint of your evolution. Movement, breath, posture, nutrition, and rest are the scaffolding for higher consciousness. Meditation, reflection, journaling, and learning sharpen the mind, giving the body a container to express strength. Through disciplined practice, the body becomes resilient. It can endure discomfort, stress, and fatigue without surrendering. The mind becomes clear, decisive, and calm, even in chaos. The alignment of body and mind allows energy to flow without leakage, focus to sharpen, and willpower to rise. The body is a mirror of the mind. When the mind is fragmented, the body shows tension. When the mind is weak, the body feels heavy. When the mind is clear, the body moves with grace. When the mind is disciplined, the body radiates power. Daily practices do not need to be long. They must be consistent. They must be deliberate. Even small actions repeated daily build an unstoppable foundation. Every morning, choose movement. Every breath, choose presence. Every moment, choose awareness. Do not mistake pain for weakness. Pain is a signal. Discomfort is a teacher. Challenge is a guide. Through this alignment, the body and mind no longer resist each other. They work together, harmonizing energy, thought, and action. You become grounded in your own presence. You become a force that is felt, not just seen. You become capable of holding your path steady, no matter the storms outside. When the mind and body are trained together, life begins to flow differently. Decisions become precise, energy becomes concentrated, clarity becomes habitual, presence becomes your natural state. And as you strengthen the mirror of your being, a profound understanding arises. If my body reflects my mind, and my mind reflects my choices, then every daily practice is a declaration of who I am becoming. And that realization opens the next threshold of growth, waiting to be discovered. 10. Your past does not need healing, it needs understanding. There is a story you have been carrying, a story that whispers in the quiet moments of your life, a story of pain, of mistakes, of missed opportunities, of relationships that broke, of dreams that faltered. It is easy to call this story a wound, to call it a burden, to believe it needs healing. But what if the truth is not in healing, but in understanding? The past is a teacher, not a jailer. It does not require you to fix it. It requires you to see it clearly, to feel it honestly, to recognize the lessons it has imprinted on your mind, your heart, your spirit. Every moment you labeled yourself as broken, every moment you told yourself it was unfair, every moment you wished it could be different, you resisted the wisdom that was already waiting for you. Understanding your past is not about justification. It is not about blame. It is not about excuses. It is about clarity. It is about tracing the patterns that led to the present. It is about seeing the choices, the circumstances, the fears, the impulses that shape your journey. When you understand the past, it loses its power to dictate your future. The mistakes that once haunted you become lessons. The regrets that once weighed you down become insights. The losses that once emptied you become maps pointing to the life you are capable of creating. Many live trapped in the idea of healing because healing suggests incompleteness. But completeness is found not in erasing the past, not in hiding from it, not in wishing it away, but in understanding it fully. Understanding creates freedom. Understanding creates peace. Understanding creates the courage to step forward without the shadows pulling at your feet. Your past is not a prison. It is a mirror. It reflects where you have been, but it does not dictate where you are going. You can look at the past without judgment. You can see every choice and action for what it truly was. A momentary attempt to navigate the unknown with the knowledge and awareness you had at the time. Every hardship, every struggle, every disappointment, all of it was a teacher. Every lesson, no matter how painful, is a building block of your strength. Every moment you believed you failed is a reminder of your capacity to rise. And when you fully understand this, a quiet power awakens. You begin to act not out of fear of repeating the past, but out of clarity of what truly matters. And as understanding grows, you sense a subtle shift. You begin to see that the present is not weighed down by what happened. It is lifted by the lessons you carry. Because once you understand your past, you realize that movement without clarity is wasted, and the next step is to move with precision and purpose. 11. Move through 2026 with clarity, not speed. The world is obsessed with speed. It celebrates the fast, the immediate, the visible. It praises productivity over presence. It rewards urgency over understanding. It convinces you that to move quickly is to succeed. But speed without clarity is chaos. Momentum without direction is wasted energy. Action without awareness is a shadow of growth. 2026 is not about how fast you move. It is about how clear you are. Clarity is the quiet compass that guides action. It does not shout, it does not demand. It whispers with the certainty of inner alignment. It shows the path that moves you closer to your purpose, step by step, without distraction. When you prioritize clarity over speed, every action carries weight. Every decision has resonance. Every choice is intentional. The world will try to push you into frantic motion. It will tempt you with urgency disguised as opportunity. It will insist that to delay is to fail. But the truth is, hesitation is not weakness if it comes from discernment. Pause is not failure if it comes from awareness. Stillness is not stagnation if it comes from presence. When you move with clarity, your energy is preserved, your focus is undiluted, your intentions manifest with precision. There is a profound difference between moving quickly and moving with alignment. The former scatters your life, the latter magnifies it. Speed is often a distraction from discomfort. Clarity is a confrontation with reality. Speed is noise, clarity is wisdom. In 2026, let every movement be deliberate. Let every decision be rooted in understanding. Let every step be a reflection of your values. Clarity allows you to see what truly requires your attention. It allows you to avoid the traps of urgency and distraction. It allows you to conserve your energy for what matters most. When you move with clarity, life responds differently. Opportunities appear in alignment with your path. People who belong in your journey gravitate toward you. Obstacles that are misaligned with your vision become irrelevant. You begin to experience the rhythm of life, not the rush but the flow, not the chaos but the orchestration, not the pressure but the presence. And as clarity settles in, you understand a subtle truth. Speed may impress the world, but clarity creates results that last. And with this understanding comes the realization. Because once you move with clarity, the next step is to cultivate an inner peace capable of sustaining this journey through every challenge that arises. 12. Inner peace is a skill. Train it like a muscle. Peace is not a destination. Peace is not the absence of conflict, fear, or stress. Peace is not something that is granted to you by circumstance. Peace is a skill, a discipline, a muscle that must be exercised daily. Life will always present chaos. It will offer challenges, frustrations, delays, and disappointments. It will test your patience, your presence, your awareness. It will tempt you to react, to panic, to resist. Without inner peace, every moment becomes a battle. Every decision becomes clouded. Every interaction becomes reactive. But inner peace is not passive, it is active. It is the art of remaining undisturbed amidst disturbance. It is the mastery of the mind and heart, so that your energy remains intact regardless of external storms. To train peace, you must first recognize the triggers that disturb. You must observe the thoughts, emotions, and habits that create turbulence within. You must practice returning to calmness.